Good off.
Yeah.
Oh, they better. That's all I gotta see.
Good evening. Today is Tuesday, May 7th. This is the regular meeting of the City Council of the City of Trinidad. Will you all please rise for the
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1 is roll call.
Devano.
Here.
Shu.
Here.
Thurman.
Here.
Trill.
Here.
Ogletree. Here. Williamson.
Here.
Griego.
Here. Item number 2, approval of the agenda. Does council have any additions, deletions, corrections? I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
Call the vote, please.
Williamson.
Yes.
Thurman.
Yes.
Shu.
Yes.
Trill.
Yes.
Ogletree. Yes. Devano.
Here. Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 3A is a joint concept review with Planning, Zoning and Variance Commission, a proposed major impact application for the development of Love's Travel Plaza. Mr. Yerman.
I'm going to introduce this and then turn it over to the applicant, Mr. Curtis, who's here to represent the application. I did put on your dais a schedule of this annexation application and major impact, which lays out, as you can see, annexation is a pretty process-intensive development application per state statute. It's one of the few things in the code we couldn't touch because it's statutorily driven on the whole process. But the major impact review will run concurrently with the annexation petition and application rezone, development review, and variances that are going to be part of this application. Tonight is the first opportunity for us to introduce the application and have a joint discussion with the applicant that is non-binding and informal. There is, I want to reiterate that nothing tonight that is being discussed is formal direction. The reason we do this meeting is to ensure that the applicant can address any major issues that the council or the planning commission foresee with the presentation tonight, so that they're able to understand their application and put those materials in an application moving forward, so that they don't have to continue to go back to meeting after meeting with resubmittals of things that might be an issue that you guys foresee. With that, the other big thing that you'll see tonight that's kind of unique about this application is that the state statute requires 1/6 continuity when you annex the property. The site is actually 68 acres that is being annexed. The whole site isn't being developed, but the portion on the west side of the railroad tracks is all being annexed at this time. And the 1/6 continuity is actually requiring 2 annexations to get the full 68 acres into the city limits. So that is probably going to be a little bit. You'll have to have an ordinance for the first 40 acres and then another ordinance for the 28 acres after that to get that whole piece of property into the city. The property is going to, as you'll see tonight from the applicant, have a travel plaza for a Love's gas station with truck filling. It has RV camping stations, as well as a gas station, and they are extending all the utilities onto the property. All utility extensions onto the property are going to be the responsibility of the applicant, so we're not seeing any utility main extensions or dedications to the city for future maintenance from Elmore Road into the property. The only other thing is that we are now taking on Elmore Road. A majority of that coming off of the interstate is actually CDOT right-of-way, so there's only a small portion of that that is actually going to basically from the access that you see here to the railroad track, and really that intersection is now going to be a city street. And let's see. And then the other big thing is that the property is being zoned community commercial. gas stations are permitted use under community commercial. So beyond that, you can see the, really it's a process of getting to the Planning and Zoning and Variance Commission, as well as going through the annexation. We are anticipating that there'll be an annexation agreement that you'll see on first reading as part of the annexation with the City Council to detail a couple development things that will need to be part of future obligations for the developer as they proceed. So with that, I will turn it over to Mr. Curtis to, unless you have any questions.
I apologize to the Planning and Zoning Commission. I would like you to be recognized so people will know who you are. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, I'm John Norris.
Sam Coker.
Danielle Dolan.
Frank Leone.
John Rodino.
Tony Monroe.
Thank
I
you.
apologize.
Thank you, Mayor.
Hello, Council and Commission. My name is Nathan Curtis. I work with Three Rocks Engineering and Surveying. I've been super been blessed to work with Loves on several developments that they've done in southern Colorado, and are excited to work with them on bringing this one to Trinidad. As you can see behind me on the concept map, Loves is planning approximately a 12,000 foot building with a quick serve restaurant that will have a drive-through on it. Along with the building, there will be 65 auto parking spaces, 65 truck parking spaces, and 11 RV spaces with utility hookups. The auto canopy will serve 16 cars at once with the pumps, and the diesel canopy will serve 6 trucks at once with the pumps. There'll be truck scale as well. We're connecting in at the intersection of Freedom Road and Memorial Road with their access road that'll come straight off as it's almost a continuation of Freedom Road there. And we've been really blessed with working with the city so far. All the planning staff has been great. We've been talking to CDOT as well, so they are involved, and all the utilities are involved as well. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Mr. Williams.
I have no questions at this point. It'll be the electric pumps on this property.
Yes, so Love's, at the development, there will not be, but they do install electric conduits for future EV expansions that they like to have for when they're ready to start getting those to their sites.
So in relation to the Loves that's close to Walsenburg, what's the size of this proposed site as opposed to that site? It's about the same?
Yeah, that one's a little bit bigger. If you know, they did that recent RV expansion. We actually were involved in that as well. But so this one will not have a full RV park as that one has. It will just have the RV spaces that are kind of in the southwest corner there. But yeah, so that one size-wise is bigger, but the building should be about the same. So canopies and auto canopies should be about the same.
Has the property been purchased under?
No, they're under contract to purchase it, yes.
Subject to annexation?
Correct.
That's all.
I don't have anything, just thank Love for coming here. That'd be really a good addition to our community.
So you know what restaurant made a commitment to locate here?
Oh, do I know what restaurant it is? I don't want to tie myself in, but I believe it's going to be in Arby's.
My only curiosity about this is that it is so close, it's within 30 minutes of the other Loves. Is there a reason that Loves wants to put another one here?
I don't know off the top of my head. I know that they love the I-25 corridor and having as many places for people to stop as possible. So.
The other question I had is, on the diagrams that you were shown and what Mr. Yerman talked about, this is just addressing what's west of the railroad tracks. Is there another section that Loves is intending to annex in or try to annex in?
Not that we know of. So they're going to annex the entire 65 acres, that's on the west side. And then their plan for the east side was simply to use that to bring Phil over to be able to develop the site over here. So I don't think they're planning any developments over there.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Leone from the planning.
Is there any problem going to be with the on-off ramps there where you join into Elmore Road?
We don't believe so. So CDOT had us do a traffic impact study where we looked at those ramps and looked at the intersection to see what improvements would be needed. That is in the process of review with CDOT, and so we're waiting to hear back from them. But at this time, no, we don't foresee any issues.
What's your estimated truck traffic during one?
I would have to look at the report. I don't know off the top of my head, but
You wouldn't guess on that?
no, I
What is your estimated truck traffic in Walsenburg?
Well, Walsenburg was an RV park, so we were the Love Stop was already there. We were just developing the RV park.
All right.
I would be curious to know, since we have CDOT involved and we're annexing a part of it, because Freedom Road is truly a part of city property, correct? I mean, that would be annexed city, correct? So how does road maintenance come into effect on that section? Because CDOT's responsible for a section, yet now the city, if we're annexing this into the city, how does this correlate, in that realm? And maybe that's not the question for you, maybe that's just a broad, for all of us. Because that's one of my concerns. Not really a concern, but it is a big question for me. How do our road maintenance handle from CDOT, because CDOT's gonna have an ending point to where the city's gonna take over.
Yeah, Michael, do you have? Sure. I'll also say, I mean, CDOT's right. I think CDOT's right away is up to. I mean, it's almost all the way to that intersection. So.
Yeah. I will only tell you with my past experience with CDOT, I have not worked in this region, but typically what the city currently probably has with them is an IGA on maintenance, et cetera. And then the city staff has looked at that intersection, and as part of the annexation agreement, as we discussed today, they're going to be upgrading a culvert, but that's the only thing in that intersection that needs to be brought up, the city specifications to make that road ready to be annexed.
And one other thing, because that's where the railroad tracks are. How does BNSF get involved with this? Because we're dealing with, in a sense, we're dealing with BNSF, we're dealing with city, and we're dealing with CDOT. And that's because that intersection right there, I'm very familiar with that intersection. That intersection can be tricky. So when we correlate all three entities, because for me, I think that's going to be big, because I can see where it could be a headbutting kind of deal. No, that's your problem. No, that's your problem. No, that's your problem. So that, for me, that's going to be a kind of a big thing, because again, we have three different entities. You have BNSF, you have CDOT, and you have the city of Trinidad.
Yeah, so I'll answer the CDOT question first. CDOT, the applicant is required, which they already have, to submit a CDOT access permit. Because the CDOT access permit is required, they're the jurisdiction of approval for that. And so prior to them being released for building permit, they will have to show the city an approved CDOT access permit. So basically we rely on CDOT to do their review and dictate term limits, et cetera, to ensure that the highway won't be impacted. As for the railroad, they are noticed just like any other adjacent property owner. And so it's their responsibility to submit comment to the city on any concerns they have. To date, we have not received anything that we're concerned about with that intersection.
I think my only concern is because if anybody has driven out through that section, right there where that T is, it's a train wreck. It's a train wreck. You will blow your tires out. There's big potholes, and I guess my concern would be is who is really going to be maintaining that aspect of the road? Because again, the way I see it is we're dealing with three different entities. Who is going to have control over maintaining that aspect of the road? That's all.
That's a great comment. I think that's something that we can move forward with the application.
Thank you.
Just a gentle reminder, excuse me, to audience, please wear your hats. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Sir, in the back, would you please remove your hat too? Thank you. All right, Mr. Norris.
Yeah, I had a question. Speaking of BNSF, have you looked at their schedule, because they have like the 6 o'clock train, and I could see that backing the traffic into the exit ramp from the freeway, and I mean, have those considerations been
You mean, backing up traffic on the east side?
Well, yeah, because traffic trying to continue on El Moro Road is stopped by the train.
Yeah, gotcha. I think, I think our traffic study is showing that most of the turning movements are gonna be going back to the highway and going
Right.
other, so we don't anticipate that there'll be a lot of backup traffic on the east side.
Mr. Cruz, could you point out some of the diagrams there so people kind of get where the railroad's at?
Sure, yeah.
For clarification.
Yeah, so the railroad's on the east side here, and then obviously this is the site, the 12,000 square foot building. This is gonna be the auto canopy right here. The RV parking spaces will be down in this area. Loves likes to provide a dog park for anybody coming with dogs that needs to get out and let the dog roam around right there. And then all of the truck traffic will head to the back and it'll be kind of kept in this area so that it's kind of separating the truck and the car.
Questions?
Thank you.
Is there a train signal at that intersection, like to stop traffic from transferring?
There isn't.
There's one.
Any other questions? Yes, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So as Mr. Yearman said, the timeline for Love's annexation starts tonight with the concept review and annexation petition. And from there, May 14th continues with annexation. June 18th, first reading of the annexation petition. Development plan and sign variance, along with July 2nd, second reading of the annexation, and July 12th, with due date to file the annexation map and zoning map with the city clerk for recording. Just that. Item 4, petitions or communications oral or written. I remind you to please be respectful to staff, the council, and the members of the audience. Lisa Clark, special, are you wanting to do communication, or is this an agenda item?
It's an agenda.
We'll get you later on. Dan Rossetti, Central Park update.
Good evening, Mayor Council. Just to let you know, I don't know if your microphones are working, you can't hear nothing.
It doesn't sound like it.
Oh, yeah, just,
Thank you.
okay. I'm just here this evening to give council and the public an update on Central Park. I know you people asked for it and never get it, so I like it. So, since the last time I was here, as far as the baseball or the project itself, there's been 3 more change orders added to the project for $13,445 and added 18 more days to the project, which means all the way till July 17th they have now to complete the project. And it's up to $1,466,757.05. That's on the grandstand and field area. As far as the AstroTurf, the artificial turf, as far as that project, the contractors are awesome. They work 10 to 12 hours a day. They work weekends. They're kicking butt. The only problem with that is this was a separate project. It was never brought to council. It was never put out to bid. And the night you approved the money, if you remember right that night, you approved the money and you asked Carl Gabrielson a question and he stood up and said, I have nothing to do with that project, it's another contractor. So all this was done illegally actually. So the question I asked is how could you get that done? And the answer I got was that they're the only contractor that could do this kind of work. It's only one person that could do it, so they didn't have to put it out to bid. Yet, I checked on the internet, I found 10 places in Colorado Springs that do it. 3 of them experience or their profession is football fields, soccer fields, baseball fields, and softball fields. So I don't know if that was told to the city manager and council, and that's how they got away with it. But the night they approved the meeting, they kind of stuck it in your agenda. The public works director wasn't even here to answer questions that evening, if you remember right. So, and we're talking $599,200 project. So, I mean, it's just, I think they're done wrong around here, and I'm upset about that. And that's one reason I'm no longer at the city. That things need to be done professionally and done right, or why have policies and rules if you're not going to stand by them. And until employees are held responsible for their actions, it's not going to change. And then I'm pretty sure the city manager and you all, if you were told anything, if you were told that was the only contractor that did this job, it's not the truth. I mean, things are done shady around here, and it's not right. So this project now, adding the turf in, you're up to $2,065,957.02. And all council ever approved in this project was $1,200,000, if you remember right. That's $800,000 that was spent without anybody's approval. And then I just looked at maintenance on an AstroTurf field. People think there's no maintenance. There is, to keep it up, it should be groomed at least once a week.
1 minute, sir.
No problem. City has none of that machinery to do that, so they better start looking for that. Another deal I found out is there is lead in a lot of AstroTurf, and you have to request non-leaded AstroTurf, because when the drainage comes, that lead gets in the water and goes through the drainage system. Well, that whole field's being drained into Central Park Pond, which could hurt the habitat of fish and wildlife there, just to check out. So, and that's all I really have to say, but until people are held accountable for their actions, things aren't gonna change. And for the public to know, council has no right to direct the workforce whatsoever, but they are in charge of the person that does, so, thank you.
I have one letter that was addressed to city council members, all of us. It came from Linda Barron, and it reads, on behalf of the Veterans Committee, we would like to invite you to join our special event, the Armed Forces Day Parade, May 18th of 2024, to support our troops, men and women in uniform, and honor our veterans of Los Animas County. The parade begins at 11. A ceremony will follow at Chimino Park, as well as a free barbecue picnic for the whole community. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and her phone number is here on the letter, and it is signed Linda Barron, committee member. Item 5, consent agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, if I could interrupt you, I have the signature on the.
You crossed out your.
I crossed it out, but I have something to say to you. 1 minute.
Okay.
If I could have that 1 minute. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Don't cross it out. No,
Well, I wasn't gonna speak, but there were some questions I forgot to answer. 1 second. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak. I should have known better, but I wasn't gonna speak.
That's all right.
But anyway, I'm just here tonight to see if any of my questions asked 2 weeks ago are gonna be answered. I asked Mr. Downs before this meeting was started, and he said that the city manager was gonna give me the answers. I don't see a city manager there. So I wanna know, is somebody gonna give me the answers tonight that I have?
Yes,
Or not?
he's on Zoom,
He's on virtually.
and
Zoom.
hopefully he's on Zoom. and we will answer.
Okay, that's all, long as I get addressed and find out about these answers that me and Mr. Rossetti are very concerned about. Thank you.
Just make note of Kim that he did speak on there. Okay, thank you. Item 5, consent agenda approval. 5A, approval of regular meeting minutes of April 16th of 2024 and special meeting minutes of April 22nd, 2024. Item 5B, ratify general services union contract effective January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2026. Approval of bills totaling $3,112,119.52. Item D, approval of payroll from April 27th through May 10th, 2024. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? So moved. Second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Ogletree? Yes. Thurman?
Yes.
Trahell?
Yes.
DeBono?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Griego?
Yes. Item 6A, public hearings. Public hearing for consideration of an ordinance amending section 3-23, 3A, alcohol beverage festival standards of chapter 3, alcohol beverages of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Trinidad concerning timing for the submission of festival permit applications. The hearing is open.
Mayor and members of City Council, this change is to align our local code with the state law concerning application for festival permits. Our code required 10 days and the state initially required 10 days. They've changed it to 30. And so this will just align our code with state law.
Questions?
Yeah.
No questions.
So Audra, do we have any pending requests that would be impacted by this?
All of the requests that we've had have been conforming with what the state law requires.
Okay.
So we're in good shape.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Hearing is now closed. 6.1, second reading of an ordinance amending section 3-23, 3A, alcohol beverage festival standards of chapter 3, alcoholic beverages of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Trinidad concerning timing for the submission of festival permit applications. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Trahell?
Yes.
Ogletree?
Yes.
DeBono?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes.
Griego?
Yes. Item 7A, unfinished business, consideration of special event permit application, malt, finest, and spirituous, filed by memorial statue for Miss Cathay Williams at 616 East Main Street on 5/31/6 and June 1st of 2024. Is this you, Mr. Johnson?
Well, Mayor and council members, I'm happy to speak to this. We do first of all have Ms. Melissa Clark here,
Yes.
and of course also Haskell
Yes.
Hooks. But this application is awaiting your consideration and your action. You may have questions.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, Melissa, that when I went through all the reviews from each of the departments that were contacted, the chief, the interim chief, Mr. Chief Tahanovich, had a concern about the closing of the street. Is it going to be closed for 12 hours straight?
It doesn't have to be. I mean, once the car show is over, we can lift the barricades.
Okay, and what time will the car show be?
Roughly around 5 p.m.
Oh, okay,
so we could lift the barricades up at
Okay.
10.
all right.
Will you please commit to that, ma'am, if you would, that you will lift the barricades and,
Yeah.
and open it and have the car show conclude at 5 p.m.?
Yes,
On both, are you gonna have the car show both days?
no, just the one day
Okay,
Saturday.
Okay,
Please, thank you.
that clarifies. Is there gonna be music till midnight?
Yes, there will be. And this is our 9th annual year, so we've never had any complaints because we invite everybody in our 3-block radius, so everybody knows what we do every year, so.
Any questions?
And I noticed that you got the insurance, liability
Yes.
insurance set up, and that was our major concern.
Yeah, I had to get that different from the property insurance.
Yes.
Right. We just got lesson 101 on road insurance.
Yeah, now I know.
Oh, you don't. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion for the acceptance, the consideration of the special event permit?
So moved.
Second?
Second?
Call the vote, please.
Williamson,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Ogletree. Yes. Thurman,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Trujillo,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 8 is miscellaneous business. Item 8A, first reading of an ordinance amending Article 7 of Chapter 14 of the Trinidad Land Use Code to include language previously contained within the Trinidad Municipal Code regarding murals and setting a public hearing at 6 p.m. on June 2nd, 2024. Do I have someone to introduce?
I'll introduce it.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Okay. All righty.
You're a busy lady.
Yeah.
As you probably remember, when we adopted the land use code, we had noticed sometime after that part of our marijuana code was missing. So we recently noticed that our mural code is missing. This mural code is identical to what was previously approved by City Council. So it's just presented again for adoption so that it can be added back into the code. Hopefully this will be the last one.
You guys don't want to discuss the mural code again, do you? Just kidding, just kidding. I'm sorry, just a little humor. Yeah, sorry.
Questions?
Has anyone expressed concerns about the mural code and how it works? Has staff received any complaints about not being able to do a mural that they want to do, or?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. The other question I have
Mayor,
is.
Council, if you don't mind, I've gotten a couple of concerns about going through some of our various boards and commissions for their review and approval. But I do believe that that's something that the council deems important. So I just wanted to mention that it is a concern that came up. But these are permanent installations, so obviously it's important that we do our diligence and make sure that we're going through our processes and talking with the people that need to be involved in the conversations.
The other question I had is, have we now determined whether or not there's anything else that we missed? Has anyone gone through with a fine tooth comb and looked at the old one and said there's nothing else that's missing?
Honest answer, no, not yet, but we will. Yeah, it would, I would agree. What I will say is I looked at a stopping, it's obvious from a certain time frame to the time that the land use code was adopted. When it was sent off for that land use code to be reviewed, all of the ordinances approved just after that are the ones that were missed. So I missed this mural one. I didn't realize it was missing. I did look in all of our other legislative ordinances and didn't find anything else that was missing there. I didn't even think to look to see if there was anything else, i.e. murals. So yes and no. I haven't gone back fine tooth comb, but I have looked to see what ordinances were adopted after obviously it was sent off.
Mr. DeBoer?
No questions. No questions.
I have none. Thank you. Call for the vote.
Thurman,
Yes.
Ogletree. Yes. Williamson,
Yes.
Trujillo,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 8B, consideration of a special event permit, malt, finance, spirituous filed By benevolent and protective order of Elks number 181 at 120 South Maple Street on May 11th and August 2nd of 2024. Is there somebody here that represents your name, sir?
Lawrence Stevens?
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Sherman?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Discussion, I'm sorry.
I had a question. I think when I was looking through this, I didn't see, and just from my own point of clarity, there wasn't any insurance, special event insurance on this either, and I just wanted to understand when is special insurance required?
When it's off premises.
Okay.
So I'm assuming that the Elks, when they applied for this permit, they do have liquor legal liability within the described premises.
Okay.
We have our own insurance that we pick up for our own events and like
Because they
alcohol.
have,
Okay.
Yeah, we pick up our own insurance.
Thank you.
and it extends, is the event just inside the building or out?
It's inside the building, it's
Okay.
downstairs in our hall, our rental hall.
Okay. That's all. Okay. Yeah?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manny?
No.
Okay, thank you. Call the vote.
Shu,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Truhill,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 8C, permanent modification of premises application filed by Pecos League of Professional Baseball LLC at 700 Smith Avenue. Is there anyone here?
I'm here, Madam Mayor.
Does everybody do you have any questions for Ms.?
Ms. Schultz.
You do?
Yeah.
I did, I just wanted to understand better where we're extending it to and from the current and the proposed were a little unclear.
Oh, certainly.
You don't have to come up with
Oh, it's okay, I need to stand up. I'm on this because I have a broken ankle for another week and a half. Madam Mayor, members of council, city staff, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for everything, and I first of all want to say how grateful we are for the improvements at the ballpark, and we will do our best to represent as well as we can. The league and many other leagues across the country and all levels are taking a look at Trinidad, Colorado and saying they're serious about this, and so it's really exciting. Councilperson Ogletree, to answer your question, so currently the facility is licensed for the grandstand area and the concessions area. With the addition of the new terrace behind the visitor's dugout, that's where I want to modify that. I want to take it to, through that, because if we don't, we'll be, I feel that we'll really upset people and they won't be able to have maybe the best time that they want to. And, it's a good business piece for us as well. So that would essentially be the area. The boundaries of that would be the sidewalk and the interior sidewalk. To essentially the restroom facility, we have to do a barricade down below the bathroom because there's not currently one there, a hard block, and then we'll do a block on the entrance into Central Park, the walkway, and the driveway. And we will monitor that as we do all the others locations with wristbands and ID. And, everybody has to have an ID on them.
Will it be clear to people where they can and can't consume alcohol?
There will be signage posted, yes. Essentially, when we take it that far, that leaves, you've got the grandstand and then, I haven't seen it lately, but, and the walkways, and that's pretty much the whole facility. Yeah, as far as where people should be instead of behind the grandstand or anything like that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. DeBono? No. Mr. Shu? Mr. Trudeau?
And I think I read this, but just to be clear, you'll have staff monitoring that area and that terrace area?
Yes, we will. I actually have a security person parked up there on that far end of the parking lot at all times.
Yeah, your plan was extremely thorough. I appreciate how thorough your plan was.
Oh, thank you.
It was very good reading. I mean, it was procedural. It was
I've
action
got more
plan, it
money.
was security. I was like, wow. So I really couldn't find anything in there except for, I was just kind of curious if you had people wondering, like, staff in there.
We do, and we will. Thank you for that question, because, yeah, it's really important, and it's a ballpark, atmosphere. I mean, it'll be hopefully just, rocking for the 4th of July and rocking the whole time, but we're just extremely excited, and it, anymore, I have a lot of help because I've got a whole baseball team full of men that need, tips here and there and that type of thing, and we put them to work because volunteers and staff people are kind of on a short supply, let alone sustainable. So if you guys want to talk anything else triggers, I'm happy to do it, because it's truly, it's a phenomenon, and we're extremely happy, and the city staff has been phenomenal about working with us to get this location open for the 1st of June for our grand opener.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you again, Ken, for everything you do with the tournament triggers, and that's all I have to say, no questions.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
I have no questions, thank you.
Only question I have is how come you're wearing a CU hat instead of a
I don't know, maybe on behalf of the mayor, perhaps.
Yeah, way to go. Well played.
I know it's important. Anyway, folks, thank you again. Please don't hesitate to contact me anytime if you have any questions about anything or need anything out there. All right,
Thank you, Ken.
Thank you, Ken. Okay. Item 8C, permanent modification of premises application by Purposely. Call for the vote, please. We did already. Did we? No? Okay, sorry.
So moved.
Second? Call the vote.
I try.
Shu,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Trahell,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 8D, new hotel and restaurant liquor license filed by Busy Bee Operations LLC, doing business as at the Hive at 228 West Main Street, Suite B, set for public hearing June 18th, 2024 at 6:00 p.m. and tentative neighborhood boundary as the corporate city limits. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Call the votes, please.
Trahell,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes.
And Mayor, I'm sorry for interrupting, but Krista Franks is virtual, fresh in from Alabama, I believe, yeah. So, but just so you know, she is on
Okay.
virtual, and is at that
You know.
conference. Right, yeah.
Thank you, Kristen. Item 8E, report of changes filed by Reno's LLC at 400 East Main Street. Is there a Hannah Withers or a James Gitzel in the audience? Okay, we just want to make sure. Just for background, the corporation holds the liquor license, but the individuals in charge of the corporation. So I need a motion to accept the report of changes filed by Reno's LLC to include Hannah Withers and James Gitzel.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
call the vote, please.
DeBono,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Trahell,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 8F, resolution setting a hearing date for the annexation petition for Love's Travel Plaza, annexation number 1, for 6 p.m. on June 18th, 2024. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
call the vote, please.
Shu,
Yes.
Trahell,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes.
Ogletree,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
DeBono,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes.
I was just, if there's any questions.
Any questions? No? Okay.
Nick Mason for the record, everybody.
I didn't see you stand up. I apologize. But you could come back for the second one. Item 8G, resolution setting a hearing date for the annexation petition for Love's Travel Plaza, Annexation 2, at 6 p.m. on June 18th, 2024. Do I have a motion? Second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Ogletree?
Yes.
Trudell?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
DeBono?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Green.
Yes. Item 8H, consideration of bid results for curb cuts and sidewalks, Phase 3, project number 05-2024. Recommended award to Performance Builders Roofers in the amount of $479,902.50.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. We solicited bids for it's basically our last phase of the curb and gutter projects with part of our DOJ settlement. We do have 2 other parts of that which will be coming out in the near future, but anyway, we received 4 bids on that solicitation. Performance builders and roofers were the low bidder at $479,902.50. With your approval, we would like to proceed forward and give notice of award as soon as possible. We're on a kind of a time crunch. We have to get this project completed, so I'm here to answer questions.
Mr. Williamson.
What's our history with this particular contract?
This is obviously the biggest project. We've worked with this contractor. This is the biggest project that we'd be engaging with them. They have done some, through our sidewalk program, they've done some curb and gutter projects, and the crew that he works with is very well. They're very professional. They do good work. So, as far as that, like I said, that was through our sidewalk share program.
I have no further questions.
Mr. Goodman?
I have no questions.
I just have the same concerns as Mr. Williamson, because I was looking through and I didn't see much of what we had done on that larger scale. If you have confidence.
This project has got a time constraint. I think we're at 320 days of completion, and then $750 a day liquidated damages for anything past that. So the contractor's well aware of the time and the liquidated damages.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Mr. Shu?
No, nothing.
Mr. Goodman?
That was my question, the estimation of the time completion.
I had a question. It was hard to read all these little tiny numbers on here. But I noticed that our engineer's estimate was about $100,000 more than what this company is bidding. And one significant area of variation on the estimated cost was the 3 things: mobilization, traffic control, and bonds. We had estimated at $70,000, and their total on that was $3,500, I think. How is that? So what makes up for that difference?
When we put these out, there's different contractors put money in different places. Just to give you an example, Rocky Mountain, RMS, who's doing First Street right now, was the high bidder on the project. And I think they were at $47,000 for mobilization, and they're already in Trinidad. So sometimes when they put these numbers together, I have no clue where they come from.
But our engineer estimated that it would be $70,000 for those 3 things, and so I'm trying to figure out were we way off in terms of what we were
I can
estimating?
answer that question,
Okay.
kind of, sort of.
Okay.
So the bidder has the option of including their bond costs into the bid. Evidently, Performance Builders and Roofers ate the price of the bond. Okay, they incurred that expense themselves. As far as mobilization, they're here, so they didn't have to mobilize.
Okay. And traffic, we had said was gonna be what? Traffic control, $10,000. Seems like that would be the same, wouldn't it? I just don't understand.
It's fairly straightforward, the traffic control. Some companies hire a company to come in and do it. A lot of them, they're anticipating that they probably can set their own cones and signs themselves. So they probably, they're trying to be thrifty at it. Like
And
I said,
are you confident that they can do all this for 3,500?
I'm confident that they'll do a good job for the city. Like I said, if you want to see their work, they did the work in front of Jared Tortorella's building down on East Main Street. There was a sidewalk, and then they also did the work for the president of the college, all the work on the corner of Pine and San Juan. That group is they're good. So, there was only approximately $18,000 that they left on the table from the second low bidder, which was Cedar Ridge, which isn't a lot of money. And the next bidder was David Baca Construction, David Baca. And he's doing our current project right now. And he was approximately 80,000 higher.
Yeah.
So,
All right. Thank you very much.
well, you bet.
Any other questions? Call the vote, please.
Thurman,
Yes.
Ogletree. Yes. Williamson,
Yes.
Trahell,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
DeBona,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 8I, first reading of an ordinance granting local landmark designation to the property described as OTS Block 111, Lot 3, original town site, Block 111. I don't know what PT and LT stand for, 2 Terry West, Block 7, Parade, City of Trinidad, Los Animas County, and setting a hearing date for consideration of said ordinance at 6 p.m. on May 22nd. Do I have somebody to introduce?
I'll introduce.
Motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Call the vote, please.
Thurman,
Yes.
Williamson,
Yes.
Ogletree.
Yes.
Trahell,
Yes.
Shu,
Yes.
DeBona,
Yes.
Griego.
Yes. Item 9, council reports. Do you have anything, Mr.
Nothing to
Williamson?
report, Mayor.
Mr. Thurman?
Just last week's meeting at the what is that?
Community center.
Community center, yeah. That went well. I learned something from the young man who was talking, and he said something about having our information passed down to the boards. That was very helpful. So nothing to report, but I did take away something from those meetings. It was good.
Yeah, so Cinco de Mayo Festival was a success downtown. We had an amazing turnout. Record numbers of people downtown. Vendors, everyone had a good time. We were virtually incident free. So I look forward to working on more of these in the future. And I enjoyed having council members passing through and coming in and seeing what our community can do. It was a great time. Thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to the Hispanic Chamber for putting this on. Thank you to the city for its participation and helping in every which way possible. Thank you to Brett, who is our lighting guy for the art show at night. That actually turned out really, really, really nice. For those that you got to see it, it was great, and I hope we get to do more of those in the future. I just really want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting our community. It was great. Thank you so much. And on Main Street Board, I think Steve will be reporting on that when he gets back, because they're out in Alabama, and that's what we were doing. The last one was setting up, and they were getting ready to go. So thank you so much, everybody.
I have nothing.
Mr. DeBona.
The Los Animas County Veterans Committee, well, we already know that they're gonna host the parade for the community. May 18th, they're gonna have a ceremony at noon, and then they're gonna have a picnic at Chimino Park following. And I'm gonna interview Linda Barron tomorrow on the radio, so. That's it.
Trinidad has a creative district that used to be affiliated directly with the city, and now we have an employee who oversees that in conjunction with Main Street. And I think it's important that people know that the Creative District is getting very energized, and they are taking upon themselves applying to have a conference come here in the spring of 2026, which is going to be our 150th anniversary as a city. That would be for the Colorado creative industries, and it usually brings in somewhere near 400 people. And so they're doing a great job coordinating city resources and businesses to get them engaged in this. We're applying for that, and we'll find out if the city's been awarded that in the future. I'm going up tomorrow to attend the same kind of event, which is happening in Pueblo this year. So I'll be doing that on behalf of the city and behalf of, as a member of the advisory committee on Colorado Creative Industries. But it's a very exciting thing. That will be a very big deal for our city to get it. The golf course things are happening out there that they're very happy with. The Golf Association is happy for the repairs that the city's doing, and the course is open and looking really good. And otherwise, I was privileged to attend the strategic planning session that I'm sure we'll hear about. I think that was a really productive time for the city.
That's it? Okay. Thank you for attending the lodging tax advisory board meeting for me, because at the same time they had a district TPR meeting at the COG office, and Steve and the department heads and I talked to the lady that's in charge, Jennifer, is in charge of our district, and she's planning on coming down here so we can start the real work on exit 14. We assured her that council's consensus was that the plan, I believe it was option 2 that CDOT had designed, is what council at this point is looking forward, and so she's coming down to assist us with further planning on that. Mr. Ruger and I attended a ceremony in Colorado Springs Wednesday. We were invited because former Mayor Rico got awarded the Green Jacket Award by the Fort Carson. And what that is it's designated for, the award is given for anybody that is a true community partner with the Army, whether it is Fort Carson and Springs or Pinon Canyon Maneuver Site here. And it was just really amazing because Mr. Rico was the first one from this area to be awarded that prestigious award. Jay Chimino had received the award prior to that, but he's really qualified as a Colorado Springs resident. But it was very interesting. I'm just upset because they didn't give us dessert. So, but we had to stop and get a candy bar. Same with the strategic planning. I was there, and so the process is ongoing to explain to people who are either listening online or not aware of what the process is. So we started 4 or 5 areas that we wanna look at for improvement. They are going to be measurable. So what happens is we set the goals that we want. However, Mr. Ruger will meet with his staff to set the timeline, and most of them are percentages, or they're very measurable goals that we want to attain. In addition to that, we did a mission statement and we did a vision statement. It was 2 full days, and it was very interesting. I think at the end of the second day, I had smoke coming out of the top of my head. It was just too much for this old brain to handle. And shout out to the Hispanic Chamber as well. That was very, very well planned, and it seemed like everybody had a really good time, so kudos to you. I know you worked personally on it, so. You burned me, but that's okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. And I thought you would report on this. This is an FYI report. The Aspen Institute names Trinidad State as a semifinalist for a prestigious 2025 Aspen Prize. Trinidad State is in the top 20 of community colleges in the country. And this, I have to give kudos to Dr. Epper and her staff. I mean, this is phenomenal. We just gotta root them on and hope that they get to the goal. It's a long process. And in addition, the award won't be announced till the spring of 2025, but they will receive if they win $1 million.
Nice.
Yeah. So, great work, Trinidad State. And I also attended the health survey online with the hospital and other healthcare providers within the area. And it seems like our numbers for housing needs, medical needs are almost identical to that of Rockland County. So they're working on trying to get the bad numbers down and the good numbers up. So I think that's it. Reports by city manager and city attorney. You want to go first?
Sure. Good evening, Mayor and Council. Thanks for letting me join you virtually. I'm here in hot, humid Birmingham, and I miss the desert west, although my skin is very soft right now. But it is good to see you all. So the conference is, just for everyone's benefit, is Main Street Now, and there are folks from all around the country who care deeply about their downtowns who get together and talk about their successes and how we can work together to really bolster our urban horrors in small towns particularly. And I attended a great session today. It was the Deputy Director for HUD actually came and presented about how HUD wants to open up some CDBG funding to really assist in getting a little bit more creative. She said the last time they were updated was 15 years ago, and before that it was 50 years ago. So actually CDBG turns 50 this year, so very fascinating stuff. But the one thing I do want to report from the conference so far, in talking with other folks, for a successful, vibrant Main Street, it is very clear that there has to be a combination of public and private investment. And so we will bring back some great ideas from here and talk with the council about those ideas and see how we can keep moving forward to make our downtown even better. But I do want to address some of the questions brought up by a couple of our residents regarding Central Park. So I'll just go through them in order in which the questions were asked, and very, very happy to address these and let the public know where we're at. Before I do that, though, I do want to say Councilmember Ogletree and I have been talking with Kim Schultz regularly, and our goal, and it's a very achievable goal, is to have the ball field available and ready to go on the 1st. As you heard today, the turf is being installed as we speak, and that is one of the key things. Now, there may still be some other items that have to get done. We can't guarantee the whole shebang will be in place, but we're working very, very hard to get it to a point where we can have spectators and have a field ready for the players on June 1st. I've also asked staff, particularly our public works staff, and I do want to thank them. Many of our staff members on the public works crews have gone out and lent a hand here and there, and we're willing to assist in anything we can do to ensure that baseball happens on June 1st. But with that, I'll go into the questions that were raised. So the first one, it had to do with timeline extensions. So when we sign a contract with any contractor, there's always provisions that allow for weather delays. and allow staff administratively to assess what those delays are and add time accordingly. Again, you'll remember that our winter, we had back-to-back snowstorms for a while, and it wasn't just the day of the snow itself. It took a while for some of it to melt off, so that did add several weather delay days. As far as change orders go and approval by the council, our procurement code is silent on change orders. It does say procurement contracts over 100,000 have to be approved by the council. It's been kind of varied in change orders coming to council because of really just not consistent processes and then lack of clarity in our procurement code. So I'm happy to announce that I'm working with Cheryl as we speak to update our procurement code. It really needs some robust updates. It's only a couple, 3 pages at this point compared to the states, which is about 6 million pages. So we want to strike a balance somewhere in between, but there are some things that are missing in our procurement code that we really want to address. However, the procurement code as it stands now does require best attainable price for anything that we do. Cheryl's really good at that. She won't really let anything that costs more than $1,000 be purchased without 3 quotes, for example. So I don't want to say my spending authority, but administrative spending authority for procurements is now $100,000, thanks to a recent ordinance change that the council did. But that doesn't mean we're off the hook. That doesn't mean that we can just pick any vendor less than $100,000 and contract with them. We still have to go through either an informal or a formal quote process in order to get those procurements done. So I haven't seen one procurement where we haven't done it competitively for a product. And I will talk about the turf installation specifically here in a second. But one of the next questions that came up was the installation of the LED lights. And I think there was a question about why our own crews didn't go out there and do that work themselves. There's 2 reasons. First of all, our crews are very busy with the work that they have. But more importantly, not as simple in this case as just changing out a light head. These are very state-of-the-art LED lights. In fact, the installation requires laser precision guidance to point them correctly at the field to ensure the best possible lighting scenario for the field itself. So we had crews out there using, I know it sounds futuristic, but laser beams to make sure each light head was pointed correctly, make sure everything functioned. And it was just a skill that is kind of outside of our expertise, unfortunately. There was a question about contractor work schedules and why we're not seeing contractors out there on the weekends. The city, and this is true of any contracting agency, we have no control over the contractor's work schedules. That's not something we can dictate. That's between the contractor and their staff. The only caveat is that we do have certain hours that we ban construction by ordinance, and that's to protect residents from loud, heavy equipment being used in the middle of the night. But other than that, it's on the contractor to define their schedule and figure out the best schedule that works for them. The turf, I want to talk about that. So we did not go through a competitive procurement process for that. We used a company called Sourcewell, and they are a local government purchasing coalition, I guess is the best word to say. And so they are actually recognized by the state. Any public entity in Colorado is welcome to purchase items from negotiated contracts that they've done. So colloquially in procurement, it's called piggybacking. So we do this with police cars, for example. In fact, all of our vehicles we buy through this agency because they actually solicit the competitive bids and then they negotiate pricing. They find the best obtainable price on our behalf, and then we're able to order certain things directly from them. When I worked in New Mexico, we would work with the Houston Galveston Area Council. They're a big purchasing cooperative as well. So these functions are permissible in state law, our municipal code, county law. Most local governments take advantage of these for times where you really need to be expedient in your purchasing, and we trust that we're getting the best price. But it definitely went through competitive procurement, and we can certainly get with the Sourcewell themselves if you ever want to hear from them at what they do. But like I said, the state uses them, counties, every every local municipality probably in Colorado is using them for these types of purchases. We did bring the item obviously to you all for approval, so you did see that expenditure, and that's where we're at. So it wasn't competitively bid by us, but it was competitively bid under a public procurement process. And then, let me make sure I'm capturing everything. Change order approval. I think those are the questions that I had. So I just wanted to give those updates, and hopefully, again, we're working diligently with Ms. Schultz, and really looking forward to having a great baseball season and having the Triggers out there, and we're doing everything we can, and I feel extremely confident that we're going to be able to have our first game played on June 1st. So that is my update for today, and I will turn it over to Les.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Mr. Downs?
Thank you, Madam Mayor, council members, and I thank Steve for that report. As you will recall, Mr. Bernardo had those questions, and Steve said that he would answer those, and I hope that answered those questions, and I'm sure that we'll be hearing from Mr. Bernardo if he's shaking his head in the negative. So we may be hearing from him for more questions in the future. But I do thank Steve for that report. I want to say that the strategic planning retreat was really a pleasure to participate in. I'd never been a part of anything like that. It was fascinating. And now that I have been part of that, it will be nice to know from where that comes from and see that process. I do want to remind everybody that Santa Fe Trail Days now is a city event. And I want to really emphasize that we're doing this, and city staff is taking this over. So I hope everybody, it's June 7th and 8th. Thank you, Kimberly. And so I hope everyone will make a point. Not like we wouldn't want to support whoever was doing the event, but now that it's a city event, I hope that everybody will mark that on their calendars and try to go down. It's going to be major, and I know that Kim has been working on getting lots of vendors and has been hustling and beating the bushes to really make sure this is a huge success. In the legal department, would you like me to report something legal? I would like to let you know that in municipal court, the filings for this year are double what they were, more than double than what they were for this time last year. So through April of last year, the end of April last year, there were 78 filings in municipal court. This year, by the end of April, there have been 176. So we have a lot more cases. That's all types: traffic, land, code, nuisance things, all kinds of things. So I just wanted you to know that, and we have a lot of trials. We recently had a trial on the cargo container at Bonfadini's, and that resulted in a conviction and a guilty verdict. So hopefully we'll be following up with the removal of that cargo container that has been held in violation of municipal ordinance. But I have nothing further to report on. If you have questions, happy to.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the city have insurance for this special event?
Oh, yes. Yes, of course we do. No, yes, we absolutely will have insurance. We know who the mayor is.
Yes.
No, seriously, we will have mucho insurance.
I knew you would.
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Thank you, Mr. Downs.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's nice to hear about your filings as well.
Yeah.
There being no further business before council, item 11 is adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. Call the vote.
Degano?
Yes.
Shu?
Yes.
Thurman?
Yes.
Trudell?
Yes.
Ogletree?
Yes.
Williamson?
Yes.
Randall?
Yes. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you all.